ongoing public discussions about the bank's reported losses and equity position. As the majority side of the Committee on Economy and Development and the entire majority, we consider it necessary in the interest of transparency and informed public discourse to place these results within their proper context, proper economic and policy context. Ladies and gentlemen, at face value, the bank reported a net loss of 15.6 billion Ghana cedis in 2025 fiscal year, and other comprehensive income charge of 19.32 billion, a negative equity position of 96.3 billion. While these figures are significant, necessary, they must not be interpreted through a narrow lens of commercial banking. Central banking is fundamentally a public policy function, and its financial outcomes often reflect the cost of stabilizing the economy. To be fully appreciate the 2025 results, one must consider the recent historical context between 2022 to 2024. The Bank of Ghana recorded cumulative losses of approximately 80.85 billion Ghana cedis in the era of the MPP. For instance, in 2022, the Bank of Ghana incurred a loss of 60.81 billion Ghana cedis, 10.55 billion in 2023, and in 2024, 9.49 billion Ghana cedis. This period coincided with one of the most severe macroeconomic crises in Ghana. Inflation, listen to me now, inflation surged at a peak of 54.13% in 2022, before declining to 23.84% by the end of 2024. The Ghana cedi experienced significant depreciation, reaching approximately 17 cedis to $1 by December 2024, representing a depreciation of about 19.7%. Gross national reserves stood at about $9.3 billion in 2024, covering 4 months of import cover of goods and services. At the same time, the bank's equity position weakened, recording negative 64.34 billion Ghana cedis in 2023, improved slightly to a negative 61 billion in 2024. Given this consideration, my friends, the 2025 financial outcome must be understood as the continuation of a deliberate and necessary policy intervention. I want to lay more emphasis here. Given this consideration, the 2025 financial outcomes must be understood as the continuation of a deliberate and necessary policy intervention. In 2025, the bank's balance sheet reflected a debt position of 96 billion, right? However, macroeconomic indicators show a strong and decisive turnaround. Inflation declined sharply to 5.2% by the end of 2025, further to 3.2% in March 2026. The Ghana cedi appreciated significantly by about 40.7% against the US dollar and other hard currencies. Gross national reserves increased substantially to approximately 13 billion US dollars providing about 5.7 months of import cover of goods and services. Importantly, under the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Program for 2026 to 2028, reserves are projected to reach up to 50 months of import cover, significantly strengthening Ghana's external buffers.